started. So I'm putting this up on the screen so you can see it. And we're going to go over there you go. That's much better. We're going to go over the letters that we did last week. Let's say it together, loud and proud. That's so cute, by the way. Oh, got you guys. Oh, you don't see it? Serious? So awkward. So awkward. All right. Let me try that again. You guys see this? All right. All right. So 1 second. We're going to now. Okay. Can you see that? Yeah. But is it small or is it big? Big. Perfect. All right. All together. Literally, I said all together. I advanced this light on my side. You guys were all silent. I'm like, oh man, it's been a week. You guys forgot everything. All right, let's go. Excellent. Well, wait, hold on. We haven't advanced it. You guys are going too fast for me. All right. I want to go through the mnemonics, right? Aleph, no sound. Bet has the ball. Vet has the void. Vacant, good. Gimel. Next. What was that? Hammer, good. Then, boom. What was the hay? Has the hole, right? Good. Right, very straight. Zigzag. Boom. What did it look like?
It looked like the thing when you get married.
The chuppah, good. Good. Little guy. Hey, little but powerful. Good. Compact. All right. Low center of gravity right there. All right, next. Good in the middle. Right. Good. Final cuff. And then there's a final cuff, which is not here, just to shake things up. And remember this one? Lanky ladder. All right, good. Now we are going to start with the first new letter. Get your cards ready. I don't have the cards in front of me, but you do. So somebody tell me which card we're up to. I'm saying, but which number is that? 16A. Okay, perfect. Let's do this. So this is the letter Mem. Now, how are you going to remember the Mem? Mem is a mountain. Now, I don't know if you noticed this slide behind me. This is fantastic. They put a mountain and then a flag. Okay, so could they not have found the mountain that has a double thing? I'm sure they could have. But whoever did the slide is like, forget it. We're just going to Photoshop a flag in there or find something with a flag. Boom, much easier. But I will tell you, the sillier it is, the easier it's going to be to remember it next time you see it. Mem with the flag. It's a mountain with a flag. Now, what's important is to differentiate between the tet and the mem. These are, which ones are the hardest? I don't know. These are of the hardest letters to differentiate and the ones that get confused so much time. And by the way, I will tell you, if you are reading and you are kind of thinking about these letters and you're not sure, it's going to throw off your whole fluency and proficiency in reading it and like the smoothness. So what you want to do is, do drills. You want to drill it in so boom, cold. Tet has the tear in the top, like a teapot, right? And mem is the mountain. It's closed in on top like a mountain with a random flag.
It looks like a monster.
Okay, there you go. Sure. I'll go with what you go with, right? It's all about you. It's right. Boom. Right. Good. So tet and mem, so easy to confuse, but remember, tet has the tear on the top, whereas mem is the mountain at the top. Good. Mem is also, sorry. Yeah, we're going to get into that today. Both of those letters we're going to cover today. All right. Now, mem, this is always some fun stuff that we can do together. Mem is the first letter of the word Mayim. What does Mayim mean? Oh, that's Yad. Mayim means water. Boom. Mayim is Mem, Yud. And then we haven't done it yet, the final Mem. So when Mem is one of those 5 letters, though when it's at the end of a word, it takes on a different shape. So Mem, mountain, that's the normal shape, but that closed thing at the end, it's an M and M. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The other one, is that
Say it again.
mountain in the
It would not. Yeah, it would not. So you always, yes, it'll always be this way because it's the same letter it's the same letter. It's a what's the letter? What's the word that you can read forward and backwards the same? There's a word for
Like
that.
dad and.
Yeah, but there's a name.
So wait, is anytime the sound is at the end of the word, is the
Boom.
final,
You will never, yes,
the final cough and the final. suffix?
correct. It's the same letter. It just is different shape. Why is it a different shape? It's, I don't know. It just, that's what it is. Manatzapach. Mem, nun, tzadik, pei, chaf. Those 5 letters, manatzapach. Those are, by the way, so you know, manatzapach, they each of those letters use a different part of the mouth when you pronounce the word. Ma, na, tza, pa, cha. Ma and pa are kind of the same, but don't tell anybody. But yeah, those are the 5 movements of the mouth, as it were. And so I guess you have one representative from each of the sounds. Boom. So Mayim, mem, yud, mem, but the final letter is a final version of the mem. Okay. Torah, by the way, is compared to water, which is Mayim. Why is it compared to water? What happens when you have what happens if you have a cup that has a hole at the bottom? What's going to happen with the water? It's going to go down. Water never stays where it is. It always goes down. Torah likewise flow down from above to below to our reality. And that's what, oh, I love it. Yes. And purify yourself. Good. Love it. That's the final mem, right? Final mem. Now, how are you going to remember the final mem? The final mem looks marvelous. And I know what you're thinking, because I was thinking this. What is that? What are we saying?
It looks like
Yes.
way.
Yes. Oh, listen to this. This is going to be amazing what we're about to do. And this, I'm telling you, remember this. Okay. Imagine you have a tray of brownies. Okay. Oh, yeah. No, this is not going to work. This is round. But imagine you have a square pan of brownies, like a square 8x8 pan of brownies. Boom, shakalaka. A full pan looks marvelous. I'm going to contrast this in a moment with one of the next few letters. So full pan, marvelous, brownies, good, delicious, looks marvelous. All right, that is your brownies. I will say that I've been eyeing those because my kids love the corners. You know what I'm talking about? I've been eyeing the ones. Have you ever seen those pans? Oh, it's called
Yes, they're all corners.
it goes, swings around so that every piece has an edge to it. There's no center piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's the late. Well, it was on Shark Tank. Yes. And now guess what? I looked on Amazon recently, literally a few weeks ago, because my kids were asking for the edges and they were fighting over the edges. And like, there's a solution for this. We don't need to fight. And it's like $55 on Amazon
Oh my gosh.
for a pan. I would have thought, okay, expensive would be like 25, 30 for a pan.
Right, right.
Because a regular pen is 10, this would be like 35, 55. No, but I think, no, it's getting more expensive. It used to be lower. Now it's getting shuggy. All right. Anyway, so this is mem. So I'm gonna go back a little bit. So remember, mem, mountain, right? Boom, that's your mem. Don't get confused with the tet. Final mem is right here. Marvelous. All right, now these are the lookalike letters that we are right. Yes, Samach. That makes the.
It's got a corner.
If you ever see that in the middle of the word, it's a sign.
Boom. That's a pro tip, right? If you see what looks like a final mem in the middle of the word, you know it's not a final mem, obviously, because it would be at the end. So it's always going to be a samach. Excellent pro tip. Good. Oh, but what happens if the samach is at the end and then it looks like a final and you're not sure which one? Look at the right side, because at the right side, that is going to be your clues at the bottom. First of all, this is, it goes in a little bit, but your main clue is going to be right here on the bottom right. And if it's in, then you know that someone took a slice of your brownie. You had the full pan, which was marvelous. Someone takes a slice. You're boom. Yeah, obviously. That was all a setup. No, but that's a true story. Samach. We haven't done it yet. Samach. Oh, and just like that, we're gonna get back to it, and we'll have the mnemonic for that one to remember it with the slice. But for right now, just know that these are 2 different letters. We have not, I mentioned it just now, but we haven't done the second letter. All right, moving on to the next letter. Mem, after mem is this letter. This letter is called nun. Nun. It's spelled like none, but it's not none, it's nun, the way it's pronounced in Hebrew, nun. Nun is, right, dreidel. Spin that on a dreidel, you lose, no holds barred, dreidel
So
poker.
it means no, none, no, no, no.
Yeah, I mean, that's the representation in the dreidel game, but just, yeah, it's just kind of like that. But this is the letter Nun, and we previously, last week, differentiated between the Nun and the Gimel. Remember, the Gimel has a glamorous heel with a little strappy thing at the top, and Nun has none, no heel. It's a flat, but you wouldn't. It's not an F sound. It's an N sound. None, no heel. So that's the differentiation. And the mnemonic, glamorous Gimel with the heel. All right. Get on the red carpet with your glamorous Gimel heel, but none, no heel. And there is no outing tonight, no parties tonight. All right, that's the Nun. Also keep in mind, here's also a note of differentiation. The Nun is different than the Bet, Vet, Kaf, and Chaf, although they all kind of make approximately the same shape. When I say approximately, it's because not exactly so, but approximately. Let's see if this works. Would this work?
Well, with that.
Oh, okay, you guys see what's going on here? The Nun will have a little bit, it has a straight line at the right, then it goes a little there and a little there. Now, bad is also boom, boom, boom. It also has three sides, kind of, and the Chaf. But yeah, as you see here, as it's shown here, narrow Nun, and then wide. I mean, the alliteration doesn't work, but you see that the other letters are wider. So don't mistaken this for that. This is going to be a much narrower letter. These are more easily mistaken for each other than the Nun. Remember, Bet is like the boat, it's got the wider bottom, whereas Kaf is more curved and Chaf is more curved. Okay? Made sense? Okay, good. Let's continue. So after we have the regular Nun, remember I told you 5 letters have a final version of the letter. Nun is one of them. So Nun at the end of the word will be drawn differently. The image is literally different, and it's, it looks like a Vav almost. Because you wouldn't see, right, because you're not. So when it's drawn on a line, so if we had line paper, do you have line paper? So it would go below the line. It would start off, so here, I'll show you over here. I'll just draw it. Thank you very much.
That's all. It looked like Final Nun and the Vey, like that. It was a sculpture. If I drove by. I'm
Oh,
gonna
nice.
picture up
Nice, yeah,
Next time.
that's kind of cool. So
I don't know
the,
if it was actually the letters or I was just imagining them as being the letters. But I will take a picture. I was just driving for work, so I didn't have time to stop and take a picture.
so this would be the differentiation. So this is my just very shorthand version. The top one is the Vav. I try to draw the little top and then, straight line, but it's fitting in between the lines. The Nun will have the same starting point, but then go below the line, pretty significantly below the line. So that's your way of checking that out, to see which letter is which. When that appears at the end of a word, it's the final Nun, and it makes the N sound. Final Nun. And okay, now I want to share with you some
Yeah.
my son, his name is Nasan or Natan. So it's spelled Nun, Saf, which we haven't done yet, and then Nun again, and that would be the final Nun. What are some other words? Yeah, there are words that in. Yeah,
All the kids have a Hebrew name?
yeah. Let me see if is there one? Sitain. Oh yeah, like in the Shema. Velo sitain yivula. Sitain. That's the second paragraph of the Shema. Has a final Nun. Yeah.
Do kids have a second name or no? They're
So what's funny is all of almost our entire family, including me and Leah, we go by our middle names. Yeah, like I'm Yehuda Aryeh. Leah is Devorah Leah. My next son is Moshe Nassan. Menachem Mendel.
like that's what they do in the South.
Yeah. Well, we
I
have
guess
dogs
we're Southern.
And they go by
The only one that has one name is my daughter, Rivka. She's just one name. call Riva. Do something different, but
But
Okay.
you also marry your cousin, so. you know.
well, you could. You could. It's halakhically okay. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not against halakha. Right. In biblical times, it got even wilder. What do you found something, or
I
will?
was just seeing that.
All right. If you find something, yeah, no saying, yeah.
There's lots.
All right, now, in the when you get called to the Torah, notain haTorah. When you make the blessing, notain, it ends with the final note. All right, now here we have,
Son, Ben.
yeah. Oh, Ben. Oh, yeah. When we say someone, Ben, someone, right? Ben, boom,
That means
Ben,
some-
the son of.
Oh, the son.
Yeah. There you go. That's easy. All right, now Nun. This is just some mystical insight, just so we have some, some deeper ideas. Nun numerically is the equivalent to the number 50. By the way, numerology, should we do a little numerology? Okay, you ready? I'm going to give you a very quick primer in numerology. It's going to be super easy. Okay. You don't have to write down the letters. Just look at your opening chart of letters. Yeah, that one. And here's the cheat sheet. Very simple. You just start with the first letter and you count the first 10 letters, but don't count duplicate letters like bet and vet. That's 1. So Aleph is numerically equivalent to 1. Bet is 2, Gimel is 3, Dalet is 4, Hey is 5, Vav is 6, Zayin is 7, Chet is 8, Tet is 9, Yod is 10. When you hit 10, then you go 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So you 20, no, Chaf is the same. Any version of the same letter is the same number. Lamed would be 30, Mem would be 40, Nun would be 50, which is what we're doing now. And then just to keep on going, Samach, the next one is 60, then 70, 80, 90. Kuf is 100. And when you hit 100, what's the next one? 200, 300, and Taf, the final letter, is 400. Once you have that formula, you can take any Hebrew word and run the numbers. You just have to know which order. So it's basically 1 through 10, and then 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 90, 100, 200, 300, 400. Those are your 22 letters. That's the basic formula. By the way, I'm planning on doing a numerology course at some point through the year. That would be a lot of fun. No, it's amazing. Oh my gosh, you can. There's deep insights into Torah based on the numbers.
It's like an infomercial.
No, it's not. I'm telling you, it's straight up. This is this is an area of Jewish scholarship. One of my favorite. Norm, you are a celebrity. By the way, there are commentaries on the Bible, right, on the Torah, biblical commentaries that focus very strongly on numerology. One of them is the Baal HaTurim, it's the name of the commentary, and he has the most incredible insights into the biblical text based on numerology. When you study it, it literally blows your mind. It's crazy. Anyway, so here 50, according to Kabbalah, according to Jewish mysticism, 50 represents fullness and completion. It says that there are 50 chambers of Bina, which means understanding, 40 chambers of Bina, which is why, for example, 50 levels of Bina. And for example, huh? No, it's wine, right? Yeah, no, Bina. So that's why, for example, Shavuot, right, is how many days after Passover? 50 days. So after we count 49 days, but then that's not yet the holiday. The next night, the 50th day, that's all day Shavuot, which represents Torah, which is wisdom. So it takes 50 days to achieve fullness and completion, full measure of understanding. Anyway, so that is 50. Now, let's do. Oh, look at this. Neshama. Okay. Oh, this is cool. Okay, this is cool. Take a look at this. The Nun, right? That first letter, there's Nun. We didn't do the next letter yet. The next letter is Mem, right? Remember mountain, and the final one is the Hey, right? So this is Neshama, which is soul. So here's the visual, a cool visual for the Nun, which is the first letter of the word Neshama. So the Nun, if you look at the Nun, it's almost like a person who is bent. A bent Nun represents the soul while restrained within the body. It's kind of like folded over a little bit. It's not upright like a Vav. It's folded over a little bit. Once the body dies, the soul finds full expression, represented by the extended nun, which is the final nun. Remember, the final nun goes all the way down straight. So it's almost like when the soul is in the body. So it's kind of, it has to, fit in, it's contained. It's limited, it's restricted on some level. Exactly. But when the soul and body, when it's released, it's in its full measure. And so it's full and upright and it's long. So the idea here is that that's again another mystical insight into the letter, but because nun is neshama, the letter neshama, soul is bent typically, but at the end, the culmination, remember the completion, the 50 is also completion, the completion of one's life, it's got that full nun, the full like long shape. Okay, so that's just an insight. Okay, next letter, which we talked about before in the context of the final mem, is not the final mem. Don't be confused. This one is exactly the samach. And the samach is, I told you at the cake, missing a slice. I don't know why they went to chocolate. I don't know if that's a brownie. That does. Yeah, that's samach could be somech noflim v'rofei cholim. All right. What else is samach? Samach could be savta and saba. Yeah, saba's grandfather, savta's grandmother. Good. That would begin with the samach. Excellent. No. Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah. In cursive. Right. So the main letter is how it'll be written in a Torah scroll, or like a good font, like the prayer book, the Siddur will have that font. The bottom will have, do they have that for all the letters?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Great. So so that's those are, the cursive.
Is that the cursive line? Isn't it like a?
No, that's not the good. Yeah, it is. You go loop and then, yeah. So I guess it's not, your mileage may vary about the cursive. All right. Full disclaimer, not all the cursives are cursives. All right, but this one is missing a slice. Remember, it almost looks like the final mem, but it's got that slice. I mentioned this last week. I'll mention again, I have an issue with fonts that are misleading because Hebrew it's hard enough, or I don't know, it's another language for many, certainly in America, and to have to use a font to create even a font that your hays are almost to the top and your samach and mems are not that differentiated, drives me bananas. It's a pet peeve. So, if you're looking at a good font, it'll make it a little bit more clear and easier for the reader. So that's what's going on. Also, another way to remember Samach, excuse me, is that it is, of course, a little bit more circular. Again, sticking with the pastry theme, this would work for this. And by the way, if you look at these too long, you will be hypnotized right into your inner Hebrew child. So there you go. That's an extra bonus. Extra bonus. Right. Good. Samach. Samach is, remember that round circular shape, which symbolizes infinity. So that is the idea of the Samach, that beautiful, round, infinite space. God encompasses and is with us from the highest heavens and greatest accomplishments, the deepest pits and failures. It's that perfect circle with no top and bottom are not differentiated. It's all part of the same circle. All right, let's move on. Oops. All right, this letter is called the ayin. This is the creepiest slide we have. You guys ready? Ready to be creeped out? I think you are. All right. 3, 2, 1. Ayin. Eyes, right? Maybe it's cute. Maybe it's not creepy. Maybe it's cute with googly eyes.
Oh, it's like a crab with the eyes on the top.
There you go. There you go. Right. So, but don't remember, because crab is not gonna help us. Eyes, ayin, eyes, right? Think of that, think of that. The ayin sound is also silent, like a pair of eyes, like the aleph that makes no sound, that only takes on the vowels, which we'll get to next week. The ayin also does not have its own sound. It is kind of anonymous and just takes on the sound and the movement of the vowel. Like a pair of eyes, not talking, just looking. That is the idea over here with ayin. Now, ayin. And I think, Richard, you mentioned this before with Satic and ayin. These are also two of the most confused letters. And I will tell you, right there on the board, they almost look the same.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Like if I was to get Chinese, it'd be like, those are the same two letters.
Yeah.
Like, it's only because I know this for like, since I was a kid, but these letters look really close.
Yeah.
I would have just spoke to you like in different.
Correct.
Treat them different.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
My wife's gravestone, I was shown, unfortunately, they switched an iron with its son.
Oh,
Oh, no.
wow.
And they didn't, it's like,
And they didn't catch it.
no.
Yeah.
I tried to serve the guy.
Right.
And fix it. And they did 2 others wrong, actually.
Wow.
They put a double where it should have been a race.
Oh, wow.
That's
Huh.
crazy.
That is crazy.
And you don't even, why they give you, unfortunately, I know about this, but. So you get a bunch of squares and they have a key, so you don't even use the letters, you use numbers that are associated with the letters.
Oh, wow.
And they still mess it. So it's not like they're looking at these trying to figure it out, they're looking at different
That
numbers.
should be a code basically.
Yeah, they screwed it up.
Yeah, but these are, when you look at them, it's so easy to confuse because look, they both have the kind of the same shape at the top. They both kind of come together at some point. So this one, the right side is more prominent and the left side is, this one, the left side is more prominent, goes that way, and then this comes down. But they are, they're pretty confusing. So it's just something to keep out, to look out for, that this is the iron, that's not the iron. The iron is always gonna have your long, on the right side, it's gonna go down, it's gonna have that longer shape, and the left side is gonna be the little shape. Goes to this one where it goes, this way, that way.
It's like a nun with a Satic attack with a yid.
Yeah, this one is like a bent over nun, right, a collapsed nun.
Yid's attacking.
With the yod on its side. We're gonna actually have that when we do Satic, we'll have that as a mnemonic, a way to remember it. Okay, so this is the ayin. Think of the eyes and how they connect in the back of that. I'm not a doctor, but I think there's like nerves that connect them in the back. What's it called? The optic something or other. Right, so this is kind of like that. I don't think there's gonna be a slide with the optic, that would be a little creepy. Okay, look at that. Oh, super cute. Baby
Yeah.
with the eyes.
I can't get up there.
Eye, sorry.
I'll get my son.
Symbolic of our free choice. Oh, so the idea of having two eyes, right? There was once a boy who asked his father, who was a rabbi and a leader, he says, so why do we have two eyes? We have one nose, one mouth, we have 2 ears, but why do we have two eyes? So his father said, so that you can look with your right eye generously on someone else, and with your left eye, you can look critically on, the areas that need improvement. So symbolic or free choice to view others kindly, or God forbid in the opposite manner. You can look with your right eye, your left eye, symbolic of positive or negative. How do we look at others? How do we judge when we have, when something happens and we have a choice to fill in the narrative? Do we choose a negative narrative or the positive narrative? That's the choice we have. So now let's go over the letters that we've explored together. The letters that we learned today, let's go over together, starting from the new one. Good. What was the mnemonic there? Who remembers?
No,
Good. Remember the next one is?
final note.
Good. What was the final man image?
Mm.
Full
Full thing.
full tray of right of brownies, which we call in Hebrew, by the way, mizonot. So mizonot is that map. The next letter is
None.
nun. Good. What was the mnemonic over there? What did we say?
Nothing.
Unlike the gimel that has a heel, will this point to work?
It's not gonna make it good.
Black.
It's horrible. No. All right. Unlike the gimel, which is above it, which has the glamorous seal, one has none. The next letter is.
Final note.
Now remember what we said also about this. This is folded. This was like the neshama, the soul.
Yep.
It's folded within our lifetime. The nun expands. It's full of glory. The soul expands after separation from the body. The next letter, Samach, right? Remember the Samach has the slice and it's rounded like a circle. That is the Samach. So when you see these two, they sorry my having they look they kind of look similar. They kind of look similar. So you have to just look for the slice. Look when you see the top of it and you see these are the only two letters that are fully contained, right? Box or circle. So all you just train your eye to look at the bottom right corner, and that will be your clue. Next letter, which we just covered, was ayin, the eyes, right? Ayin, eyes, which takes on the sound of the vowel. All right. Good. Remember, the reason why we spend time on the associations is because in general, we remember things with associations. Not all of us, but many of us, that's how we roll. All right, next letter. We're on to a new slide, new letters. Let's jump right in. All right, this is called the pay. I'm going to give you what I think is a great tool to remember this one soon. The next one is Fei. Now, here is just to review something that I told you last week. Any letter that has a dot in it, so the dot makes it a harder sound. The lack of dot makes it a softer sound. So when you think of, remember we had bet and vet. Bet, it's a strikier sound. Vet is a softer sound. Kaf and chaf. Kaf is the harder sound. Likewise, pay and fei. Pay, fei. Pay is the harder sound. Fei is the softer sound, and it's signified by the dot. The way I try to remember this is, well, starting with fei. Fei looks like a face, right? Sideways, nose. No, if you squint, maybe. Pay.
Oh, yeah.
Pay.
It's like a chicken head.
Does it look like a chicken head?
Yeah, it's a chicken
I don't see a chicken head. Where do you see a chicken head? A chicken.
head.
I see a profile of a face.
Forget the circle, look at the pay instead, it looks more like a chicken head, you look at it.
Yeah,
Just
the
look
whole
at
top.
the circle of a chicken head. Just look at the
Here's his
circle.
eye, his beak, his
Yeah,
little like
right.
things. going
Fine,
on.
but either way, so then call it a profile. Profile of a chicken. That'll be a profile, right? Punim, the face, the punim. Beautiful punim. Oh, there is. Hold on. There is. Hold on. But wait, there's more. Oh, pay as a penny. There you go. You knew that was going to happen. You knew there was going to be something. Pay as a penny. Oh, penny fell out. Penny fell out. Look at that. And the PowerPoint has a little movement to it. Penny. And then, ooh, there it goes. Oh, so close. That reminds me of like when my kids go to those arcades, those mini Vegas places. You know what I'm talking about? And then they have those robotic arms that you can move around, and they grab it, and then it picks it up. Put in more money. Oh, so sorry. Oh, she actually won one?
Yes.
She got it. Yeah, what you? Oh, right. Yeah. I have one kid who is, for whatever reason, he's gifted at that game. You know, the big ones, he'll always, like, I don't know what his deal is with that. It's just something. It's some sort of spatial situation. All right. This is the final pay. There is no final pay. Okay. So the final letter of this version is only soft. Final fey. Like I think it's a face, but hey, all right, you guys can disagree. Huh? Cup. Well, it's Yiddish. So Yiddish, all bets are off. All bets are off. Final pay. I mean, you could. I mean, it's from German, so like you could write in whatever characters you want. By the way, I'm about to blow your minds. Possibly, there's a Yiddish professor at Emory University. She's a friend of mine, Miriam Udell. She will be teaching a Yiddish course after the holidays. Oh, I mean, you can learn now how to kvetch in the original language. Anyway, but that's not Yiddish reading. That's going to be Yiddish language. Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. Boom. You know how to curse your neighbor in Yiddish. All right, next, moving on. All right, good. This is Satic. Now remember the challenge that we had before with Ayin and Satic. So Satic here is, and this is an interesting one. Take a look. Twisted like a pretzel. Oh, sorry. Oh, I read that wrong. Let me try that again. Satic is twisted like a pretzel. Yeah. Well, that's just me. Satic. Good. Okay. Yeah. And the eyes, right? It's not as twisted. Right? It's more like a Y. So when you see the letter, oh yeah, obviously that's exactly what that is. I mean, that's a spitting. If you put that up on a wanted poster, like, oh, you want a pretzel? Like, oh, obviously you want a pretzel. Like, oh yeah, totally. Like you put up that symbol, like on your hot dog stand, then everyone knows what to order. Sure. Anyway, but yeah, exactly. But bottom line here is it is a little bit more twisted in its shape. Remember the ayin, which we had before. I'm just gonna scroll back because why not? It's fun. And oh wow, this is a real commitment to go back to that one. So the ayin is way less twisted than the tzaddik. Tzaddik is folded over. The ayin does look like a Y. You're right. It's got that
And is the sound you get?
No, not really. No, it's really doesn't make any sound.
Oh, it's silent. Wait,
Silent. We're silent eyes. It'll take on. So if there's a patach under it, which we'll get to next week, it goes ah. If it's a kametz, it'll go if there's a tzeri, it'll go a. So it's not an a sound. It's just like kind of an anonymous sound.
But on the app.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. To my consternation, to my utter consternation, because the card says it makes no sound. It's not consistent. It's inconsistent. It's consistent, inconsistent sometimes. Anyway, so we're up to the twisted pretzel of the tzaddik, which also has manatzapach, tzapach. So tza has a final version, which almost looks like the eyes again, right? And this one is less twisted. But if you recall, so I actually like what Daryl said about the Y because it's the reverse, right? Because it's the reverse. So if it's the standard Y, it's the ayin. If it's the reverse, which means that the left side is longer, then it's either you have two options: either a kid drew a Y backwards, which is always cute when kids draw the Y backwards, or sorry. No. I know. I'm just saying, right. So this will also go right. But I think it's important to note that essentially the final version is the same as this one. It's just straight down. You look at it, right? So look at this, right? And imagine you just kind of straighten it out. And straighten out and drop. But you have basically the same thing where this is here and then this is there. Okay, so that's your final sound. By the way, you should know some people will pronounce this letter tzadi and not go tzadik.
Really?
Yeah. Some claim that the original name of the letter is tzadi, but we call it tzadik. Why? Because that means righteous. So if we're so close to tzadik, let's go call it righteous. But anyway, whether that's correct or not, I don't know. But that is the thing. Tzadik equals righteous one. That's the definition of it. Oh, look at this. Remember you mentioned nun and a yud on top? So there you go. So the nun is bent. The righteous one is ever humble before God. The yud is a representation of Hashem's name, of God's name, always lifting up. Or a righteous one is always lifting up another person, carrying someone on your back, I guess, being there for them. That is also the mark of a tzaddik, of a righteous person. Again, these are just some mnemonics to kind of remember this by. All right, moving on to the next letter. The next letter is the letter called Kuf. Kuf. This is also a letter that goes beneath the line. So it's almost like, I don't know, like a cuff or cuff with the, maybe like a cuff and a cuff and a line. It looks like a P. You're right. It does. Yeah. In English, no, yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. The kuf, or an old person curved carrying a cane. Yeah, but they're all stretches, right? Right. Look at this. Kuf could be a person bent over carrying a cane. See that? Bent over. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bent over. So there's the curve and carrying a cane. Remember, kuf makes the k sound, hence the name kuf. Well, the letters don't necessarily have names, although kuf in Hebrew, kfar, like a, yes, correct, yes. Now a kuf can also mean monkey, but the word kuf, yeah, it means monkey. I don't know why. That's just what it is. Yeah, that's the name. What are you gonna do? All right, old person curve. Yeah, curved cane, kuf. Next, kedusha. So the first letter of the word kedusha, which means holy, right, is the kuf. So that's what it would look like. I remember I mentioned a moment ago that the leg goes beneath the line. So when you look at this word, this is a great example of how this word would play out. Now, we didn't learn one of these letters, which is the shin. Oh, I've said too much. Right. So this letter we haven't done. But look at the kuf, right? All the letters, the median size is right there. The kuf goes beneath. It's not a final letter. It just goes, that's just how it's drawn. Remember, kuf curved with a cane. the cane that's like through the ground, it's a very solid cane. Kedusha is holiness, and holiness is not meant to be abstract, but to permeate the most mundane elements of our lives. I'll tell you a story. The Torah tells a story of the angels that visited Abraham. Remember that story? Angels, 3 angels visit Abraham, and they're coming to give him some news. And the Torah said, right, Sarah, and to heal him, he just had a bris, and to overturn Sodom, and to rescue Lot, all that good stuff. So what happens is they meet him. Oh, so first thing Abraham does is he offers him food. He says, "Oh, let me get you food." And he starts running. He says, "I'll get you some milk and some cheese and some meat." And that's a complicated menu, but he offers him food. And then at some point in the narrative, they ask him, "Where's Sarah, your wife?" And he says, "She's in the tent. She's inside." And then they don't ask anymore. I once saw a commentary, so beautiful. Why they ask about his wife and then not follow up? It said like this. On high, the angels, these are angels that became manifest in physical form. On high, the angels heard about the power, the spiritual power of Abraham. So they went to his tent and they were excited to meet him on his turf. And they come to his house, his tent. And the next thing you know, he's offering them food. He's cooking food. Like, he doesn't seem holy. He seems he's a good host, but I mean, is he like making scrambled eggs? What kind of holiness is this? So they thought, oh, maybe we got it wrong. Maybe it's not him who's holy. Maybe it's his wife. He said, where's your wife? He said, you don't get it. She's also in the tent. Her holiness is also gonna be hidden from you. See, the angels think that holiness is abstract and ethereal. On earth, you know what's holy? Giving someone food who's hungry. That's what's holy. Holy is not meant to be abstract, but to permeate the most mundane elements of our lives. What's holy is to invite someone over and have them for a meal. It's the physical things that we do. That's the holiest thing that we can do. That's what Kedusha really is, which begins with the letter Kuf. All right. We got a little mini sermonette in there. Look at that. That's it. Rabbi's always looking for sermons. All right, Kuf. It's a beautiful picture. Kuf. Oh, numerology. Remember, I told you the letters go up to 1, and then it was 200. Kuf is 100, and 100, of course, is perfection because it's 10 times 10, which is 10 is a whole number. So it's a whole number. Perfection, which is kedusha, which is holiness, which is heaven and earth blended together. Okay, now the next letter is Resh. Remember, we learned a lot about Resh prior in the context of differentiating it from which letter? The Dalet. The Dalet had a dent, like a hammer, right? It had a dent on the side. Resh is rounded, and that will come up. Sorry? And Resh will come up. That theme of rounded will, like a crowbar, right? Okay, maybe. Will come up as rounded. Okay, yeah. Good. All right, so now let's go over. I'm going to stand up again. Let's go over the letters that we learned most recently. And by the way, we're in the final stretch. Really 2 more letters that each have 2 versions. Okay, we're going to start with this one right here. Me.
Hey.
Hey, right? What was panim, face, profile, chicken? I don't know. What are we going to do with that one? All right, next one is face. This has a penny. This one fell right out. Oh, I see where it went. Right there. No. Next letter is final fade. Good. Final fade. Remember, this is essentially the same shape, the same visage as this one. Instead of curving in the bottom, the final fade goes down. You should already notice a pattern between at least some of the final letters. Like, help me out here. Which letter is this? Final Tav and final Nun and right. They're all kind of going beneath the line and standing. Now, the exception obviously is the Kuf, but we won't talk about that. It's not a final letter. But these letters are kind of like markers.
They may have done that so that it won't look like the cup or the hop.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It's a
who
similar
knows?
shape.
By the way, it's crazy. Sorry for doing this, but I kind of have to block my eyes from this laser. These are literally laser projector. So the mystics will do numerology also based on the shape of the letters. So even though this is a kuf, it can also be construed as chaf, vav. which Chaf is 20 and Vav is 6. You know what 26 is? Well, 26, 26.
26.
The numerology of God's name,
Oh,
which is perfection, which is Kuf, which is 100. Kind of all, it all points to the same. It all points to the same thing, yeah. Same thing as with letter Aleph. Yud at the top, little Yud at the bottom, and then a Vav in the middle. Yud is 10, Yud is 10, Vav is 6.
Oh.
10 plus 10 plus 6 is 26. The first letter, oneness, right? Aleph is also one. One, who's one? God. 26, Hashem's name, etc. Why is God's name 26? Because it's typically written in we don't pronounce it. We don't pronounce it. It's written Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey. 10, 5, 6, 5. It's 26. I don't know why we're getting too much into numerology, just it's something cool. So the mystics will also say like the shape of the letters reveal more letters and more insights, but I digress. Back here, what is Satic? Satic. Remember, ayin is the Y, and Satic is the twisted pretzel. And then we have this one, final Satic. Oh, also below the line. Okay, good. The next letter is Kuf. Kuf. What was our mnemonic here? Who remembers? What was that?
The cane.
The cane. Yes, thank you. I forgot it. Bent over with a cane. Good. Bent cane. All right. Kuf. Bent over, but curved with a cane. All right. That's how we're gonna remember this one. And finally, Resh. All right, Resh. I feel like we drilled it now in 2 weeks, so we're good. All right, we are up to the last 4 symbols here, which is really 2 letters. Okay. Let's go. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Oh, you guys are gonna love this one. All right, these are 2 letters that look the same. This is called Shin. This is called Sin. The only difference is the dot, the position of the dot. Now, sometimes, as we said before, there are dots in middle of the letters, in which case is a dagesh, which means it has emphasis. The bet, the kuf, the pay, all of those are emphasis. Here, it's not inside the letter, so it's not changing the emphasis. It's just changing a sound, sh or s, shin, sin. But listen to this. You're going to love this. Yeah, it's great. She's always right. Because on the right, she's always right. It's no sin to be a lefty. By the way, any lefties here? No lefties? If you were a lefty, it wouldn't be a sin to be a lefty. All right. She's always right. It's no sin to be a lefty, right and left. This is also one of the harder, I don't know. It can get confusing with this, with the dots. You have to pay attention to the dots. Right, shin, left, sin. All right, so let's do kind of, sort of. I have to remind myself sometimes when I won't turn either way. Right? Sometimes like it, I just replace the light bulb. Oh, I've done that also. Oh, it turns around. Well, then that's just sadistic. If someone's doing that, then they've got a problem. If they're making something like that. Let's go back. I just want to go back and just read these together. Let's get everyone to yeah.
The shin sound make a
Shh sound, yeah.
and sin make a sh.
Exactly. Yeah. Shh and s.
Always right.
She's always right. Sin to be left. Exactly. So let's do it together. Shin, sin. Good. All right. This, she's always right. It's no sin to the lefty. Good. Now this takes us to the final 2 letters, and then we're going to do a review. Sorry. Which one? There's so many of them. I know. Right. That one you're talking about? I'll live bad. I'll let you hey. Yeah, okay, that's one. We could do that. I know when I was growing up, I learned the one like A, B, C, D, E, Aleph, Bet, Vet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey. Anyway, so there's so many different versions. Now, what? Yeah, that's impressive. And I would not be able to catch. What was that?
get pulled over by.
We had, when I
Yeah.
did, I.
I can say it,
And
You know,
Oh, interesting.
They know you're not.
But which is, I mean, it's important to know because you will encounter them at the end of the letter. Then it's like, you gotta know what they are.
They were expecting us to do.
Saying it wasn't necessarily a deep dive into it. All right. All right. This letter is called the tough. Tav. Sometimes you heard tough, but tough. And then that one is the sub. Remember, harder with a dot, softer without the dot. So tav, ta, and sub. Ta. I don't. Okay, I clearly need to look at a picture of a chicken.
Like the beak, the eye,
that one looks like a chicken, yeah.
I don't see it. I think you guys are. What's so? You guys are like all farmers. What's up with that? I'm such a city slicker. Where do you guys see? I don't.
Chicken
I looks like we should not see a chicken.
He doesn't eat a chicken.
I don't see chicken.
Oh.
I know what chickens look like. My grandfather was a sheikh. I used to go with him down to the place. Anyway, all right. I'm happy to be outvoted, but chickens are not gonna help us. Tough and sub. How are we gonna remember this? Toe is sticking out. Look at this one. The toe of the tough is sticking out. By the way, this is very important because you know what else this letter looks like? Ches. Okay. Remember the cat? Remember the cat?
Yeah,
The cat looked like a chuppah. But what's the difference here? This has the toe sticking out. This has the little bottom. So please remember this as a mnemonic or as a tool to recognize the difference. This has the toe sticking out, tough. And this one is we don't have a mnemonic for stuff after all that. The last letter, we have nothing. All right. So literally, it's like, that's it. We're out. No one's gonna notice. It's all at the end. We notice. We see you. We see you program.
Well, you would think they would put in something with the dot and the dot fell out.
Right.
Oh.
Right. Oh, they couldn't, they should have thought of something. Something they should have thought of. Oh, there you go, the reverse twist. This is tough, that is sub, T, and S sound. All right, here we have a quick insight, good deeds. So tough is comprised of three sides, right, top, and left. Good deeds. So we have action, thought, and speech. Those are the three areas of behavior. But what's this little guy? This little guy represents humility. The little yud, almost little extra piece. Small piece is humble. The key to good deeds, Torah study and prayer, the key to all that, and staying true to our mission is, of course, humility. All right, so we're gonna recap all of the letters that we covered today. But you know what? Let's also start at the beginning.
All right.
All right, let's start from the top.
Olive.
Good. All right, now, hold on. Let's go together and remember, verbalize it, say it loud and proud. This will help you remember it. Good. Excellent. Good. Well, remember this one? Good. I'm looking at you guys. I am now thinking chicken. Why? Because I don't see it, but you guys are so convincing. I'm like chicken, chicken, chicken. I see chickens. All right, next. Twisted pretzel. Remember, this is twisted. Ayin Satic. It's and use the flashcards in throughout the week. All right, next one. Good. Remember, when you curved cane. Okay. Now we have all the letters. Okay, these are all the letters. There's nothing more critical to Hebrew reading than knowing these letters. Okay, having these letters down cold, this is your key. Because I'm telling you, I know it. I've seen this with myself. I've seen this with my kids. I've seen this with other kids and other people. What happens is when we get stuck reading, it's typically, I mean, what else could it be? It's not like it's not chicken bit us. What's happening is we're flipping letters. We're getting caught on which letter that is. So if you can take, you all know the letters now, you have all the mnemonics and the tricks and the jokes and all that stuff. If you take the cards, you take the app, take all the tools that you need, take a prayer book, whatever it is, and just work on, drill yourself, or have someone, have a friend or a family member, whatever, test you on the letters. Just repetition, or think of Michael Jordan, I said this last week, in the gym, shooting free throws. He doesn't know how to shoot a basketball, doesn't matter. He's still every day, it's muscle memory. He's just shooting and shooting and shooting. That's what they do. Hockey players, slap shots every day, all day. They can't shoot a puck, they can, but you're just training yourself. Train yourself. Pull out from the deck, pull out random cards from the deck. Train yourself. Look at the front, make sure you got it, flip it to the back. Train yourself so you know letters cold. There's no substitute for self-drilling. Take 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, 2 minutes. Sounds like literally like Peloton, but just take whatever it is, right? I could be like a Hebrew Peloton instructor, just need a little bit more spandex, and then I'm ready to go, right? Let's go, pull out those letters. Drink your water bottle, let's go with the letters. No, but like, seriously, here's the deal. These are all the letters, you have all the letters, you know all the letters, you have the resources, just go through the letters. Drill. Next week, we're already getting into, can I have your deck for a quick second? All right. Next week, look what we're doing. Next week, we're already getting into vowels. And so look how many cards in. 2 cards, the 3rd card next week.
Wow.
We're forming words. And then, I don't know, 6th card, these are big words. And the key, the vowels are easy. Either you're saying or I mean, that's just a movement of the mouth. It's just, but the letters, that's the key. To read this, to know that word is nachas or nachat, right? Saba, we said Saba tonight, right? Grandfather, Saba, to read that cold is those letters cold. Cold, like on. Ooh, and it shuts off when you jostle it. Look at that. All right, some safety mechanism. Anyway, when you know this cold, the key is knowing it cold. All right. We'll shut it down anyway. We don't need it. All right. All right. Round of applause for yourselves. We covered all the letters.
10% of the population is left.
Really? Look at that. My sister's left.
My brother is too.
Yeah.
My dad on the phone and my brother.
I always thought that.
His children's son's room in my time, they could whisper in their ears, left is best.
Oh.
Right.
It's actually hilarious.
You're writing, you hold the pen, you have to push it.
Oh, interesting. I never thought of that. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You pull, you said, yeah, right. You
The
pull.
reason is because when back when they were using bills, they put it through.
Interesting.
It was
Interesting.
smudging it.
Oh, but in Hebrew,
Yeah, it's got that.
We go backwards.
in Hebrew, you would push.
Yeah.
Pull. You would pull because if you're left, it would be.
No, but if you're writing, come on in.
Righty.
If you're writing, you're pushing in Hebrew. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Never thought of that.
That's what- Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, my uncle, like.
Right. The blue, right? They have.
It's the right side.
I was supposed to be left-handed, but I'm right-brained, so they made me start writing on my right, work on my left.
Oh, you switched? They made you switch?
You
Really?
switched, really? What age?
I was told
My lefty comes from twins with one twin never life. That's what I was.
Well, it's
I don't know if that's true.
It's an exception.
That's interesting.
No, I.
That might be a like an old wives' day. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting.
So using the app is good as.
Wait, say it again?
Using the app.
Yeah, for sure. To me, yeah, you can do the app for sure, the cards, whatever you want to use. But I think it's also good. I don't know. I mean, you can test yourself. It's also good to have someone else, to run that by or test yourself or have the app, use the app.
You
Yeah.
can save before it comes out.
Yeah.
Just as you said.
It's
But
the
it's-
thing about Hebrew is it's so, oh, sorry, these are yours. Yeah, the thing about Hebrew is it's so phonetic that like if you have, I know I keep on saying this, but I really believe in it. If you have the letters down, there's no obstacle.
that's-
Easy to say, I know, easy to say, but I mean like the letters down.
you need to really- there's confidence, bunch of words.
Yeah.
Everybody has memorized.
Not everybody. Oh, man. Any questions on this stuff that we've done? Questions, comments?
Good.
Questions, comments?
Love it.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. So drill, so 7 days now. Do the drills, check out the letters. Next week. Oh, Val, okay, you're out. All right, I'm recording this. So just remind me. Let's do Zoom. Yeah, but just remind me, I'll send you the link. Yeah, and if not, I'll send you the recording. The jokes don't play as well like on the recording. They play way worse. Good.
When's our last call?
Whatever. What? I don't even know.
No, no, no. I'm gonna go that Friday.